For more, let's welcome back in commentary editor for the Washington Times, Kelly Sadler, and former Trump campaign aide Rick Gates. We're also joined by Florida State Representative and congressional candidate in the 15th district down there in Florida. That's Tampa. That's my old hometown. Jackie Toledo is with us. Great to have you on, Jackie. Good to see you. Take us through what's going on down there in Florida in this 15th district, by the way. So I'm super familiar with this. So Ross Spano used to represent this district. I interviewed him several times. I know he had some campaign finance issues. Scott Franklin kind of swooped in and took advantage of that vulnerability. So Scott Franklin is a freshman. But this district has been kind of in disarray since Dennis Ross represented it. He was there for a long time. So tell us about the race and what matters most to Florida voters right now. I'm sure it's not the 2020 election and January 6th.
Good morning. And yeah, you're right. I'm fired up. I'm ready to take back our country. And that's what most people want right now, is to get our country back on track. And I am very excited to be able to do that. And like you said, the boundaries have changed drastically. So, and it happened very late in the year. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah, Rick, we were talking before the break about
country back on track.
Oh, there we go. We lost your audio for a second, but glad to have you back. Rick, I want to go to you. We were talking about Liz Cheney before the break, and to talk about when you're a candidate and what you run on and what's important. She lost in Wyoming. She wasn't there. She wasn't in her district. How important is it for candidates, especially as we've got these next couple of months that are so important, to be talking about the issues that are important to the voters in their district?
It's extremely important. It's one of the barriers that a lot of candidates have faced. They get to Washington, they stay in Washington for a while and think they're doing the work, but they don't get back to the districts. And what we're seeing across the nation, especially as we move toward the 2020 midterms, is people in congressional districts in particular want candidates that are representing their interests. And you have not seen that, over the last couple of years. Now candidates are starting to get back to districts a lot more. They're starting to represent those people in those areas, not think about the more nationalistic agenda that some of the parties are focused on.
Yeah, Congressman Andy Barr, Kelly, was on one of the Sunday shows yesterday, and he was talking about what voters in districts across this country who are going to be voting in 78 days really care about right now. Take a listen.
Not once have any of my constituents, Republican or Democrat, talked about the 2020 election, January 6th, the committee in Washington, or any of these issues. They're talking about not being able to afford putting food on the table, putting gas in their trucks, and not being able to see their grandson again because he died of a fentanyl overdose, because we don't have control over our southern border. That's what the American people care about, and politicians who obsess about the past are not in touch with the American people. That's why the Democrats
it sounds like
are going to lose
don't believe
this election
Republicans.
big time.
Kelly, to you?
Yeah, no, I think Congressman Barr said the right things yesterday. And we're going to see that put to the test tomorrow in New York's 19th district. We have both a Democrat and a Republican who are both good candidates. The Democrat is saying abortion's what matters. And he's made that a central focus of his campaign, where you have the Republican talking about inflation, government red tape, getting rid of, the bureaucracy, and running on a smaller government platform. And so we'll see which two of those issues wins tomorrow night in New York. And the district, the 19th district, is from Poughkeepsie to Cooperstown, so it encompasses some very conservative areas as well as some very liberal areas, and is very much a toss-up.
Jackie, President Trump has endorsed many candidates. Sometimes he waits to the last minute, sometimes the day before. Are you hopeful that perhaps you would get his endorsement?
Absolutely. Who wouldn't want his endorsement? He's a wonderful president. So
imagine a Democrat saying that with Joe Biden, by the way.
Go ahead, Jackie.
Sorry, Jackie.
Yes, absolutely. Would love his endorsement. Who wouldn't want his president endorsement. He's a wonderful president, and I would be so grateful to have his endorsement.
Do you think Ron DeSantis is going to be a candidate for president in 2024? Or could you see some sort of deal being cut between Trump and DeSantis? Maybe. This is obviously speculation, but, you know, DeSantis gets reelected in 78 days. He serves another 4 years as governor. If Donald Trump is the nominee, if he decides to run, he can only serve 4 years. He can't serve 8 years because he's already served one term in the Oval Office. And then maybe Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, that lines him up for 4 years later. So he would be a candidate, say, in 2028, not in 2024.
Yes, I think that would be a dream ticket. And certainly they'd have to work that out. But I think we need both of them. They're amazing leaders. So it would be a wonderful thing for our state and for our country.
Jackie, Democrat Charlie Crist. So he's a congressman, I think for the 13th district down there in Florida. He's a Democrat. He used to be the governor of Florida. He was a Republican. And tomorrow he's back on the ballot because he wants to be the Democratic governor running against Ron DeSantis. Can you take us through what's going on with Charlie Crist?
You know, he's a flip-flopping politician. You know, he has no backbone, and I don't think he'll win, especially with the greatest governor in the state and in the country, actually. So I think Governor DeSantis will prevail with huge margins, and we're very lucky as Floridians to have him here.
All right, Rick, I don't think we have time for the soundbite, but there's an NBC News poll that talks about how Americans feel in the state of where we're at. Americans are not happy. We have inflation. We have a lot of issues. Joe Biden was hoping that this Inflation Reduction Act would make a difference. It doesn't really seem that it's changing the minds because this poll was taken after that was passed.
Well, that's because the Inflation Reduction Act is not about reducing inflation. It's actually going to increase costs. And I think the American people have picked up on that. When you talk about inflation reduction, you talk about the ways to doing it. That's a painful process. Obviously, we've seen interest rates, skyrocket. Prices still continue to remain at, all-time highs. And those are the things that Americans are attuned to. So whether you're in Florida, New York, or, in Oklahoma, which are the primaries tomorrow, it doesn't really matter. The American people understand that they are hurting financially, and they are going to hold those people they feel that are in charge accountable, and that's the Biden administration and Democrats.
Yeah, good points. Jackie Toledo, such a pleasure having you on this morning. Good luck tomorrow. Keep us posted. Mom on a mission. I don't know if we can get that picture of you and your kids up again, but you've got such a beautiful family, and you are looking to represent an area that is very near and dear to my heart. So best of luck to you tomorrow. Rick Gates, Kelly Sadler, we'll do this again top of the hour. Thank you.